Alright guys, this is going to be hopefully the final video for my dash upgrade. As you can see, I've got the bezel on. Everything is all looking good. Got the nice bright orange needles and the white face, full cover. And in the install, you saw me fussing with that oil pressure gauge. And we got her working again. The problem with that was the old backing of the face, gauge face cluster. The old cluster backing was all that hot glue that I had used. Some of it had gotten down into the connections for the oil pressure gauge, and it wasn't making a good connection. So all that was is I just changed it for the other 110 mile an hour cluster that I have. I just swapped the backing covers, and everything is working okay. I did have my speedometer calibration right on this time, and instead of being 4 miles off when you're parked or just turning on, it's only like a mile and a half. But when you are doing 70 miles an hour, you are doing 70 miles an hour. But I wanted to put this video out as the last in the series, and I did get I went through a couple different weeks with the lighting. I did the I had the red LEDs that had been on here that the other guy had used on the original faceplate, but they're not as bright as the rest of the gauge or the rest of the dash is. So I put in one side, I left the LEDs in, the red ones, and the other side I put in 3 regular old-fashioned light bulbs you can get at the parts store for $2 a pack, and they're actually brighter than the red LEDs, which was surprising. So I took out the other red LEDs and put in 3 more old regular light bulbs, and the dash face is actually as bright as the heater control and the other switches and the radio, since I converted everything to red. Because the guy who owned this before, he put the red LEDs in there, he just did the gauge cluster to match the radio over here. I changed the lights in the heater control and all the other switches, including the light switch, which you can see is always illuminated, so you know where it is in the dark, but it's got a red tint to it there. So, and I did the door switches and the mirror, just any light, the interior light that lit up, that greenish white that the GM uses, has been converted to red. And I had to wait till nighttime to do this, so I'm going to shut off my light here and turn on the lights. And there we have it. And everything is lit up really nice, and you can see all the orange and the needles is still nice. The Cadillac gauge cluster actually come with white needles, and they would look okay at night, but on the face being white and needles being white during the day, it makes it really hard to see, and I ran into that problem. So the dash is lit up really nice now. You can see everything at night, you know, gas, voltage, temperature, oil pressure, tachometer. Get a little bit more oil pressure out of it. There we go. And speedometer, everything is clear, but this is what I meant. I did all the other stuff in red. So you got the radio was red. I did the heater control, passenger side airbag, cargo light, 4x4 light, the headlight switch itself, the door panels. The only one that isn't done is the passenger door, which you ain't going to be able to see because that light burned out in that switch. But I have a new switch, but that switch still works, so I haven't replaced it yet. And when I replace it, if it does fail, I will be changing it to red as well. So all the interior lights will still be red. Even my aftermarket temperature gauge for outside temperature, even though it quit working on me, so it's not really 0 degrees, it's like 75 degrees. But even that is a red. So everything in here is red. And that's just the way that the other guy had it, and I liked it, so I decided I wanted to keep it. And it doesn't matter what light you put behind this face. Turn the light back on. The white cover plate, doesn't matter what kind of light you put in there, red or white, all these numbers light up red with a white light or a red light, or I don't know if a blue would make a purple or something. But that's what you're looking at, is that these hash marks are all designed to be red. So it was okay for me to put the regular lights in and it still lit up red. And I was shocked to find that regular old light bulbs were just as, well, they weren't just as bright, they were brighter than the LEDs were, which I found surprising. So I just wanted to give you a decent shot of the lighting after I was all done with it and got everything all worked out for me, and everything is looking good, and everything matches the red just the way it should. Now if it was a blue radio, I would have done blue or factory green, or whatever the radio, whatever color they had left, I would have done. But I like red. Red is actually, it's my favorite color, so I don't mind making everything in here light up red. It's a burgundy colored truck, so it's fine. And I'm really happy the way this face turned out initially, just changing it over. It was everything went well. It is a 2-part install, and I couldn't help that. But once I figured out that oil pressure gauge, I was completely happy with the way it turned out. And so I just wanted to make this little illumination video, I guess, to show you guys the illumination and how I got it figured out and what I did to make it all uniform, one color across the board. So till the next video, y'all have fun.